Hi guys, and a warm welcome to you on this Sunday afternoon in November 2022. My name is Jan Benham and I'm here to talk about the ingredients that are in most cosmetics, and particularly we're going to be looking at liquid foundations and mineral foundations. So I'm going to start by throwing a few slides up here of 3 different liquid foundations that are very popular on the market right now. And we're going to look at some of the ingredients. As you can see, the first one is packed with ingredients. So we're not going to go through every single one, but I'm just going to pull out some key ones. And you might want to look at avoiding these in the future. So the first one we're going to look at is silicones. Now, silicones are not the same ingredient as silica. Silica is an ingredient that's really good for the skin. And it's a natural ingredient that is present in sand, and also something, for example, I take internally for my own skin, hair and nails. So silica is an ingredient that is really excellent in skincare products and cosmetics. Dimethicone or silicone is a different story altogether though. So silicone has been manufactured into a liquid component which, once it gets into the environment, causes, is basically a forever chemical. On the skin it doesn't seem to cause any problems whatsoever, which is why they use it so widely. So it's used in most cosmetics and creams and skincare products as well, because it feels so good on the skin. But I would strongly urge you to look at trying to avoid using any products that contain dimethicone in and other silicones. Now, there's a lot of information and misinformation on the internet, so you can always ask me questions if you're unsure of anything. So that's the first one, silicones. The second one, if you notice in some of these ingredients, is the word perfume or fragrances. Now, perfume and fragrances are made basically from petrochemicals, and in a perfume there's generally thousands of different chemicals that make up a perfume, and it is now known that they are hormone disruptors and cause a wreak of havoc in the body, especially women. So I would strongly urge you to avoid anything that says perfume unless you know that that perfume is made from 100% essential oils. Another ingredient to look for is the word PEG. So PEGs are a group of synthetic ethylene oxide polymers and are generally referred to as PEGs. And it's a blanket term for ethylene glycol derivatives. And they also are known to have not good effects on the human body. And the last one I'm going to look at is talc. So there's been a lot of information brought out about talc and asbestos because they actually are mined together. They're very close together in the earth, which is why you can get some talc that contains asbestos. So I would strongly urge you to avoid any makeup that contains talc. Now I'm going to show you a next series. Now that is just in the liquid foundation alone, and we're just at the tip of the iceberg of what is in these liquid foundations. Do you really want to put those on your face? You can have naturally derived liquid foundations, but just look at the ingredients, check them out, and make sure they don't contain PEGs, perfume, talc, or dimethicone. Next thing we're going to look at is mineral foundation. Now, there's a lot of mineral foundation out there too, that one of the first ingredients and the main ingredients is talc. Do you really want to be putting that on your face? And the other one I strongly don't like is bismuth oxychloride. And the reason for that is it's a more recent addition to cosmetics because it has such a lovely feel on the skin. But it is again in a lot of mineral foundation. And here is a typical example of a mineral foundation list of ingredients. Now, bismuth oxychloride isn't bad for most people, but what we are noticing is that some people have develop an allergic response to it. So I am getting a lot of requests for people saying, does your product contain any bismuth oxychloride in, because I have allergic responses. So the skin flares up when they apply anything that contains this ingredient. So it might be worth your while to look for a product that doesn't contain that. And the other ingredients I'm not too fond of is because it's a very new product. It's called boron nitrate. And it's not a bad ingredient so far, but again, I think with continued use over a long period of time, people could develop sensitivities to it. So you really want to look for a foundation that is, a mineral foundation is better than a liquid foundation, although you can get liquid foundations that have some pretty good ingredients in. So a mineral foundation typically would have zinc oxide in, which is really good for the skin. It would have possibly magnesium stearate. Now there's different types of magnesium. So you don't want to be using magnesium silicate hydroxide, which is talc. But magnesium stearate is basically magnesium blended with stearic acid, which is a natural wax produced from soap making, and is really good for the skin. So magnesium stearate is actually quite a good product. Other products, some people might have a little bit of offense to titanium dioxide, but it's not a bad product. It's still added to food. For example, it's a natural food ingredient they use to whiten foods, and it's added to a lot of processed foods. I personally don't want to be eating titanium dioxide, but I don't really have a problem with it on my skin as long as it's in small amounts. But you might want to avoid that, and some cosmetic companies are now stopping the use of most titanium dioxide in their mineral foundation. Kaolin clay is another good product. We use rice powder. We also use oat powder as well in our cosmetics. So they're all safe and natural ingredients. So anything with silica, kaolin clay, magnesium stearate, zinc oxide, rice powder, oat powder are all good ingredients. Mica, as long as it's ethically sourced, is also okay as well. So that's just a little lesson in some of the ingredients. There is so much more out there, but this is just the tip of the iceberg, and I hope that you find this helpful when choosing your next foundation. So if you have any questions, please leave in the comments below. Otherwise, have a great day wherever you may be, and it's bye for now.